Well, hello, Management 1010 Interdisciplinary Leadership students. We're back from spring break. We've had a week here to get up and going, a little bit actually, right? A little more than that. And so I thought we should touch base and just talk about the assignments that are coming due. I guess we could start with some of the obvious. Well, let's see. How about going to the schedule? Look at all this stuff that you've accomplished. I have to go back in time and look at all these weeks of work that you have done, and exam number one, and of course you know your grade from that, and then spring break, and we came back and you work on the unit quiz there, right? And your movie 12 Angry Men, very important. And so we've got that, and now we're already, at the very end of March, and so of course you're working on Chapter 8, Guiding Through Conflict. Really good chapter. We all experience conflict in different parts of our lives. We might be in a supervisory position. We might have conflict with our families. We might have conflict with instructors, right, or in our classes, or even with classmates. The potential for that is everywhere. And this is just a really great chapter to help you with that. In fact, sometimes we have internal conflict, right? Do I choose this job or that job? What decision do I make between two choices? So I hope you're enjoying this. It's just, such a rich, really course, I think, textbook that you're reading and the movies that you're watching. So as we look ahead, what I want to talk about, as you see the chapters that lie ahead, not that many. Let's just look at that. You're working on chapter 8, then there's chapter 9, then chapter 10, right? So the end is near, but it's an uphill ending because we still have these tests that lie ahead at the end of it. One of them is the SLO quiz. Now, this is a required quiz, and so we need to be on the lookout for this. And to give you a little overview, there's a couple things I want to show you. One is I'm going to switch around here to the syllabus. And remember that in the syllabus you have this wonderful table of contents, SLO quiz, there's a detailed instruction, and of course I talk about how many points it is in this method of evaluation, which is round about, page 7 or 8. So let's go down to page 8. And you can see SLO. Now I realize it's small, but just so you kind of get a sense of where it is in your syllabus, you can look at that. And it does say that it is mandatory. This exam is required by the college, and indeed in each of the business classes that you take. Now, math is in the math department, but a marketing or a finance or an accounting class will probably have an SLO exam associated with it. Now, in my particular class, I count these as 45 points, and I'm going to explain that to you. Okay, so let's go down to the detailed explanation. Again, just kind of scrolling through the syllabus. Don't let me pass it here. Oops. Oh, there it is. SLO quiz. So I am on page 11 out of 12. And it says, as noted above, maybe I should make this bigger at this point. As noted above, whoo, that's maybe a little too big. The quiz is mandatory and is given at the end of the semester. It's required by the college. So here it is. It's required. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. You can read that. There's no drop grade for the SLO. You do have quizzes and drop grades, but this particular exam I cannot drop. It is required by the college. Where is this exam? I haven't seen this exam. Well, it is not in PAWS. It's actually in a system called My Southwest, kind of like where you go to register for classes, but before you go in there. So as soon as you log into My Southwest, you'll see the icon for that. I'm going to tell you what the password is as it gets closer. It's going to be given at the end of April. Okay, so as you saw on the schedule, right? See, here's the schedule. So April 25th through May 1st. That's when you're going to be taking it. The reason that I'm talking about it now is because I want you to start practicing for it, to start studying. So you can read about this in your syllabus, but what you're studying for is this exam that is 15 multiple choice questions, 3 points apiece. So 45 points is something that you want to study for, right? One attempt on it, strict due dates. This is, a college exam. And so, get the specific details. It can be governed a little bit differently in each particular class in terms of points and things like that. So how do you study for it? How do you prepare? Back to pause. Let's go back over here to pause. And let's go to quizzes. Okay, I see your quiz 8, quiz 9, quiz 10. So gosh, the end is just in sight, but pretty soon, just in a couple more days here, the SLO practice quiz will open. Now, let me be just really, really clear on this. There are no points for the pause practice quiz. The 45 points are for the real quiz in My Southwest, right? The pause quiz that I am showing you is a study tool, no points. Gotcha? Got it? Okay, I just don't want you to be confused, so make, real sure that you've got that in your mind. This is for practice. See where it says practice? Practice, practice, practice. So you've got unlimited attempts to practice. In the syllabus, as you've read, when we get ready to take the real McCoy, it will be one attempt and no retakes and, very strict, right? This is a study tool. So you can go in here and you're going to take 15, have 15 quiz questions. You can take it unlimited times. It's going to be timed. Guess what, folks? Some of the questions that you're going to see in this practice quiz you're going to see the real quiz questions. So I encourage you to study, 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 repeat that quiz as much as you can so that when it comes time to take the standardized test and earn those 45 points, you'll be ready. Okay? Now you see that it's going to be back to back to back quiz, test, exam. Can you see that? Is that big enough in this browser window? See the dates? Of course, you want to be looking at the schedule and looking at these dates because, like I said, it's an uphill climb. So be ready. Keep your energy high as we go into that. Okay, one more thing I want you to look at while you're here. Under content, see the content link? Under content, I'm going to scroll down and look at all this work that you've accomplished. And there goes exam number 1. There's 7 and 8. Here, preparing for the SLO exam. There's some information right there. And then soon I will be giving you the actual instructions, right? So you can read the instructions for practicing for the SLO quiz. Now, folks, some of you emailed me and were looking for information that was under the content tab. As an online student, I know you're in the habit of going to quizzes and things like that now, but boy, you've just got to follow, you've got to go to the content tab to review that information. Okay, now, you noticed I clicked the SLO practice quiz instructions and that this is taking a long time. I want you to be really patient with it, okay? Just be very, very patient as we wait for this to load. So there it is. It's come up and you can start to read about how to practice, right? SLO practice. And so you can read all about that, but I want to, encourage you to just start out, working on that and just score the best grade that you can because that's 45 points and that will be meaningful. Now there's one other thing that I want to talk to you about, and that's going to be in the Dropbox. I want you to start exploring your extra credit opportunities. And I've already talked to you about perhaps doing a service learning activity, right? New opportunities coming available to you all the time. So call Service Learning, investigate that, those opportunities. Okay, and I see that you cannot yet access this. I will change this. I will change that so that you can immediately get in here. You probably received, and I recently received an email saying that the SET is available. So as soon as it is, as soon as I open this to you, which will be the moment I send this email, you will be able to go in here and read this. And here are the things that I want you to know. Now, we just talked about SLO. Please do not confuse that with SET. SET stands for Student Evaluation of Teaching. It's the evaluation you do in all your classes. And I do give bonus points if you follow all of my instructions. Okay, so I'll give you 5 bonus points. That's a lot of bonus points. But again, got to follow my instructions. You must complete the SET for every class that you're in, not just the leadership one, for each and every class that you're in. You got to do them all, okay? Then you're going to take an image of your screen. For an online student, this is really, really important to get a picture, a snapshot, or a screenshot of your screen that shows that you've completed all those evaluations. If you don't know how to do that, don't worry. I have a video in the instructions that will show you how to do a screenshot. I think all students should know how to do screenshots because it just really is a useful tool for many aspects of your life. You're going to submit that screenshot into Pause, again following the instructions. So I'm going to open up that Dropbox for you so you can get out there and earn those bonus points. How long do you have to do that? Well, I don't have any control over the availability of the evaluation. I believe it is open until the last day of classes. I will tell you that you must submit that material into the Pause Dropbox by the due date, and the due date is May 1st. However, if you find that let me say this, your instructor has no control over the deadline for the SET, only the deadline for submitting your snapshot of the completed SET into Pause. Okay, so some students say, let me get this over with, let me do it right now. Some students like to wait until the class is practically over. But what I want you to understand is that I have no ability to open that up to you. If you say, oh, I was going to do it and I missed, oh, that is awful because there goes those bonus points. There's a lot of bonus points. So make sure that you put that on your calendar and you have that ready to complete. Alrighty? All right, so we've talked about several things there, right? We've talked about the confirmation page for the SET. We've just touched on, your extra credit assignments. You got your quizzes due. Now, speaking of Dropbox, what else do we have due? Goodness, look at all this hard work. Writing assignment 1 is done, 2 is done, 3 is done, but coming up very, very soon is writing assignment number 4. If memory serves, that is to do with 12 Angry Men. Great movie, really demonstrates conflict, doesn't it? And from a theatrical point of view, isn't it interesting that the entire movie is shot in one room? All the camera angles and all this, but all the actors, they're not, going to 27 different places. In fact, I think the big scene changes are they go from the courtroom to the jury room, and then you see them on the street at the very, very end, right? So I hope you enjoyed that movie. It is a classic, and I hope you enjoy it. So stay strong, stay focused. Look at how all these assignments are coming to an end, but we do have, exam number 2 as well as the comprehensive exam ahead. If you did not do well on exam number 1, shake it off. Look to the future. You can't go back in time, so do well on exam 2 and well on the comprehensive final. Remember, you do have a drop grade for your exam, so very important that you do well in this final stretch. Keep up the good work, folks. I appreciate you, and just stay strong and hang in there.